Hi, Tim here from World of Sleuths. Here bringing back my public domain reads videos because I've realized I'm reading as many books right now that are in the public domain as I am of books that aren't in the public domain. That's just at the current time. Oops. Well, anyway, so this video I'll be talking about them and how I'm going to be doing it for public domain books. But people might want to know. Some people might ask, what is public domain? Public domain is more than more than just books. There's books, music, even movies. That when their copyright is up, they go into the public domain where they're free to do about anything with copying and even writing and stuff But you might say, hey, isn't that what classics are? Some of these old classics are. Yes, the old classics fall under that. But there are so many books by authors you may not have heard of, both fiction and nonfiction. Because, example, nonfiction one is one written by a guy that I was told was my grandmother's second cousin or something, like great-grandmother's second cousin, but I can't guarantee that. And that is Roald Amundsen. So he was from Norway. Both my grandmother and great-grandfather were Norwegian. Well, but if you don't know who Roald Amundsen is, he was the first guy to discover the South Pole. And he wrote a book about that. But if you haven't heard of him, if you would have come across it on the site like Project Gutenberg, you wouldn't really know what it was. Okay, well, with that said, I'll tell you how I'm planning on doing public domain books now. Right, like I said, right now I have 4 books in the public domain that I'm currently reading. I'm going to, after I'm finished these, I'll be working it to where I'm reading only 3 at a time. And that's still playing, along with the other books I'm reading, like physical books and stuff, and other ebooks. And out these around all these public domain reads I'm doing are ebooks that might be something I got on the Kindle for free, or my Nook, or something I download from Project Gutenberg and transferred over to them, or it might be one I'm reading on my laptop using some software where I can read it from. Well, anyway, I'll leave a link to Project Gutenberg down below also. Well, these 3, the 3 that I'll be reading are 3 different ones. One will be a general one. The first 2 I'll be showing you are that I'll talk about that I'm reading now, or that. The second one will be a mystery in the public domain. Believe me, there's plenty of those in there. Probably a lot by authors you've never heard of. And the third one is public domain kids books. Okay, I like reading these children's books. There's a lot of them, like the Tom Swift series or the Rover Boys. Those 2 were some of the early ones from the Stroutenberg Foundation that was started by Edward Stroutenberg, who wrote the Rover Boys series. And part of them later on in the foundation were included, like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books. But none of those are in the public domain yet. But, well, anyway, so the last book I'll be showing you or talk about is under that. Okay, so the first book I'm reading, this one that everybody's heard of, it's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I've been working on going slow at this. I've been speeding up some this month with the reading of this. I'm around a quarter way through it. I tried reading it before and I didn't get too far in it before I stopped. But then what convinced me to start reading this one now is from a David Baldacci book. The first family. It's in the Sean King and Michelle Maxwell series. Well, anyway, that book, the antagonist is always reading Pride and Prejudice to his daughter. Hey, if it's in something in the David Baldacci story, and you know it's an actual book, hey, that's something to try reading. And so a lot of you have probably heard of it. So okay, but then I have another one that is, people heard of the book, and it's in the public domain. That book is The Gilded Age. It's by Mark Twain and Charles Dudley Warner. This was Mark Twain's first novel. And that was before Tom Sawyer and all that. So. And this book is interesting. I'm a quarter of the way through it now or so. And it's about the Hawkins family who moved from Tennessee to Missouri. This is back in the 1800s. And there's a lot of stuff going on in Missouri. There's not much in the area, and it's like wilderness and stuff. But they're trying to get a railroad going through there and stuff like that. And so this book is talking about that, and it's how the Hawkins family relates to it. The Hawkins family, it's mainly 4 children that are now out for the 4 children that were alive when they moved to Missouri. Actually, 2 of them were actual children, and the other 2, you could say, adopted, because the first one they came across before they were out of Tennessee, a boy who was crying, and he finds that Mr. Hawkins finds out that the boy's mother just died, and they don't know of any relatives. So, and just the boy adjusted to them real quick, and so they pretty much adopted him. Okay, then when they get to Mississippi, they get on a steamboat and going upriver some, and all of a sudden another steamboat comes along, I think a bigger one, and rams them on purpose. Well, the boat starts on fire, and there's a big opening in it and stuff of the one they're on, and there were people lost in it. And this little girl, she was 5. She tried finding her family, her parents. they could not be found. There was a search that among all the passengers everywhere on the boat. She could not be found. So, and the girl had adjusted them. She was staying with them while their family while looking for them, and so she ended up being the second adopted child, making it four, and it's it's these four younger ones and the four older ones these four older ones that the book is about, mainly talking about, and that's all I can say for now, because I'm not really that far into it. It's a longer book too, so like most of Mark Twain's novels are. Okay, next up is a mystery. This one is The Poison Pen by Arthur B. Reeve. Arthur B. Reeve. Most people haven't heard of him. But this is a second book that was written in the Craig Kennedy series. Like the first one, it's more like a collection of short stories tied in together. Craig Kennedy is like a chemistry professor at a university, and he starts solving crimes using scientific methods, using the latest scientific gadgets, sort of like a techie of his time, you could say. But he uses them to help solve crimes, like he helps the police out and insurance companies and stuff. And then the fourth one is the one in the children's category. This is The Flaming Mountain by Harold Leland Goodwin. On the books themselves, the covers, it shows John Bling as the author. That was a pen name for Harold Leland Goodwin. I mean, yeah, but that was the pen name. John Bling was his pen name, and the book is in the Rick Brandt series. I'm getting close to the end of that series. Rick Brandt is a series of novels for like boys or children who he uses somewhat scientific methods. This one's also an exception with the copyright years. For the copyright, because these books are from the 40s and 50s, and they're in the public domain. But Rick uses different scientific methods for. This time he was a techie of his time too, and he uses them to solve mysteries. And see, his father is a scientist and founded this Spindrift Foundation, which is just a group of scientists. They have an island that they're on, where they do experimenting and create stuff on it, and Rick helps him out there, and his best friend Scotty. And see, this book I haven't started yet. I had just finished Egyptian Cat mystery earlier this month, and so I'm moving on. This is the next one in the series. And so that's all the public domain books I'm reading right now. I think that's playing a lot that along with all the physical books, and but I figured I'd just get this series going again, because showing you what I'll be, because each it might not be weekly for what these ones. It might be like whenever I finish a book and start a new one, I'll have them in it. But I encourage all of you to try to read books that are in the public domain. Like I said, I'll leave a link to the Project Gutenberg site. They're still in the process of getting books that were originally published in 1923. But they're working at getting them scanned and then proofreaders and stuff going through and making sure the spelling and everything's okay, and trying to remove out the characters that might accidentally show up in the scanning. But like they have the first novel by Dorothy L. Sayers on Project Gutenberg now, which is Whose Body, or they have a Christie one from 1923 done already. Well, with that, so like I said, I'll leave the link to the Project Gutenberg site down below, and I'll also list books and the authors down below too. So until next time, take it easy and keep on rocking.